You don't feel the exact moment when you sell your soul. It's not a grand gesture, not a blood-signed contract. It's a quiet, slow loss that starts long before you realize it. My name is Logan Pierce. I used to be an investigative journalist, had a name, influence, believed in justice. Now, I don't even know who I am anymore. I could say it all started 3 months ago when I met him. But the truth is, it began long before that. I grew up in a small town where everyone knew each other. My father was a cop, my mother a teacher, a normal, simple family. But there was one moment in my childhood I could never explain. I drowned when I was 9. Not almost drowned, completely sank to the bottom. The water was dark, freezing. I remember it filling my lungs, my body growing heavy. I saw the light above me, but it faded. And then, nothing. The next thing I remember, I was lying on the shore, coughing, while a man stood over me. He leaned down, smiled, and said,
"Now we're connected, Logan."
His voice echoed in my head long after he disappeared. Over the years, that memory blurred. I convinced myself it was just fear, a trick of my imagination. As a teenager, I was reckless. Fights, theft, running away from home. Every time I thought I'd hit rock bottom, something happened. I should have gone to jail after breaking into a store, but the evidence vanished. I should have died in a car crash. Instead, I walked away without a scratch, while the other driver died on impact. Even as a journalist, people tried to take me out. Every time, someone else died instead. I called it luck, until I got the letter. No signature, no return address. Haven't you figured it out yet? You owe me. I brushed it off as a threat, probably from someone I wrote about. I didn't know it was only the beginning. Months later, I lost everything. Someone set me up. They said I falsified evidence in an investigation. I was fired. No one would hire me. I drank, sat in cheap bars, spending my last dollars, waiting to hit rock bottom for real. And that's when he showed up. He sat across from me, smiling.
"You've taken your time getting here, Logan."
I frowned. "Who are you?" He poured me a drink.
"The one who gave you a chance, and the one here to collect."
He never asked if I wanted to make a deal. He just reminded me I already had. That my life had been saved, not once, not twice, but over and over. That every lucky escape wasn't luck at all.
"It's time to pay up."
I laughed. "And what do you want?" He leaned in.
"Nothing much. Just keep living. But now, by my rules."
The next day, my life changed. The cases I once investigated suddenly solved. My name was back in the headlines. I got a new job, money, influence, but with every expose I wrote, people disappeared. I publish an article, someone mentioned in it would vanish. I started fearing my own words. Then the second letter came.
"You're not in control anymore."
And that's when I saw her. A woman in a red coat, standing in the crowd, staring right at me. And there was something familiar in her eyes. I decided to talk to her. She knew who I was. She knew about the man in black.
"You're not his first client, but maybe you'll be his last."
I didn't understand. She just gave me an address and left. I didn't follow her that day. But when I got the third letter, I had no choice.
"He's watching you. Find me before it's too late."
I went to the address, and what I found there made my blood run cold. The room was covered in photographs. All of me, at different ages, in different places. Pictures from my childhood that I didn't even remember. Pictures of the moments I should have died, but didn't. Pictures of the man in black, standing in the background, watching me, even when I was a kid. I turned around and she said,
He's been watching you from the beginning.
I felt my breath catch. I remembered what he told me at the bar. You made your choice a long time ago, Logan. Now, I finally understood what he meant. I walked outside. Rain poured down in heavy sheets. I pulled out my phone to call someone, anyone, but all my contacts were gone. Only one number remained, him. That's when I realized I couldn't escape anymore. I stared at the phone screen. The number wasn't a name, just a single word, him. For a moment, I considered calling. Maybe if I confronted him, I could end this. Maybe I could buy more time. Instead, I threw the phone into the gutter and walked away. It rang anyway. The sound echoed through the empty street, a vibration in my bones. I turned. The phone, lying in the water, was still ringing. I picked it up, pressed it to my ear. Silence. Then his voice. Calm, patient.
I told you, Logan. You don't get to walk away.
I didn't respond, just hung up and kept walking. But the street felt different now. The buildings, the lights, the people, everything was wrong. The air was thicker. The shadows stretched farther. The faces in the crowd, they all looked at me. Not like strangers, like they knew me, like they were waiting. I rushed to my apartment, locked the door. Something was on my desk, a newspaper, today's date. The headline, Logan Pierce found dead in alley. I stared at it, my pulse hammering. It wasn't just a headline. There was a photo. My body, lying lifeless on the pavement. A crime scene that hadn't happened. Not yet. I grabbed the paper, ran my fingers over the ink. It was real, not some trick. Then I noticed the timestamp in the article. 11:43 p.m. I checked the clock. 11:27 p.m. 16 minutes. I ran to the window, looked down at the street below. Then I saw it. A figure standing across the road. A man in a black coat. Not moving, not blinking, just waiting. I turned away. My mind raced. If this was some kind of warning, did that mean I could stop it? Could I change whatever was coming? A knock at the door. Not a loud one. Just 2 slow taps. I didn't move. Another knock. Then his voice.
Logan, open up.
I backed away. The door handle turned. I grabbed the heaviest thing I could find. A lamp, a chair, anything. The door creaked open, but there was no one there. Just a small envelope, placed neatly on the floor. My hand shook as I picked it up, opened it. Inside, a single slip of paper, 2 words. Look outside. I swallowed hard, stepped toward the window. The street was empty, except for one thing. A car, parked across the road. My car. The driver's side door was open, and someone was sitting in the front seat. Someone who looked exactly like me. I stumbled back, my breath catching. The man in the car, he moved. He turned his head, looked directly at me. And then he smiled. Not a normal smile, not something human. A smile that didn't belong on my face, and in that moment I knew it wasn't just my soul he had taken. He had taken me. The lights in my apartment flickered. A gust of wind rushed through the room, though the windows were closed. Then, the voice. Not from my phone, not from outside. From behind me.
I told you, Logan.
I turned, and there he was, standing in my apartment, hands in his pockets, head tilted, smiling.
Your time is up.
I froze. My heart slammed in my chest. I couldn't breathe, couldn't think. He stepped closer, his boots barely making a sound on the floor. I never thought you'd take this long to figure it out, he said. His voice was cold, calculated. Not the voice of someone who was trying to convince me, but someone who was enjoying my fear. I wanted to run, but my body wouldn't obey. Every muscle was frozen in place.
Logan, you've been mine since that day in the water when you drowned.
I wanted to scream, to argue, but the words wouldn't come. He kept walking around the room, circling me, as if enjoying the power of my helplessness.
All those close calls, those lucky escapes, that wasn't fate, Logan. That was me.
He smiled again, that same eerie, unfeeling grin.
You thought you were getting away with something, didn't you? That you were lucky. But you've been living on borrowed time.
His eyes locked with mine, and it felt like my entire soul was being weighed.
I've been waiting for you to catch up.
Finally, I found my voice. Barely a whisper. Why? Why me? He paused, then shrugged, as though the answer was simple, obvious.
Why not? You're no different from anyone else. You just happen to be the one I noticed.
But I'm not the only one you've done this to, right? I asked, my voice shaking. He laughed, and it sent a chill through me.
Oh, there are others, but they weren't as interesting as you. You had potential, Logan. You still do, but you're running out of time.
I backed up slowly, every instinct screaming at me to get away, but my feet wouldn't move. He watched me, his gaze never leaving mine, his smile widening.
You can run, but it won't matter. It never does. Not when you've already made the deal.
I gritted my teeth, trying to steady my breath. What do you want from me? He leaned in, his breath cold on my face. Nothing.
I've got everything I need. Now, it's time for you to pay.
My mind raced. I needed a plan. I needed a way out. But the more I thought, the more trapped I felt. I could still hear him, his footsteps behind me, getting closer. But I refused to turn around. Then, a voice interrupted. Not his voice. A soft whisper from behind me.
Logan, you have one chance.
I froze. This voice, it was the woman in the red coat. She was here. But how? I spun around, but she wasn't there. The voice echoed in my mind, though.
You have to make a choice. You can't run anymore.
The room felt like it was closing in on me. My vision blurred, and I could hardly breathe. What do you mean? What choice? I called out, my voice frantic. There was no answer, only silence and the sound of his footsteps. But then, I heard it. The faintest sound of something shifting behind the walls. Something alive. I looked around, eyes wild. What's happening? What is this? I whispered. He chuckled, walking closer.
You've been living in a cage, Logan. The walls are just starting to close in.
The lights flickered again. Suddenly, the room felt darker, colder. A chill ran down my spine. Then, I saw it. In the corner of the room, a figure appeared, shrouded in shadow. At first, I thought it was just a trick of the light, but it moved, slowly, deliberately. I couldn't tell who it was, but the energy in the room shifted. The air became thick with tension. The figure stepped forward, and for the first time, I could hear the voice clearly in my head.
You have to decide, Logan.
I could barely breathe. The figure, no longer a shadow but a person, moved closer. The air was suffocating, like it was pushing me to the edge of some precipice. I don't understand, I screamed, my voice cracking. What do you want from me? The figure stopped, just a few feet away, its face still hidden. A voice, soft but powerful, echoed in my head.
You're not the only one, Logan. You're not the first.
And you won't be the last.
And then, in a whisper,
You sold your soul.
sold my soul. Those words echoed through my mind like a curse. I felt the weight of every decision I ever made. Was this it? Was this the price? The figure stepped forward, lifting its hands. Slowly, the shadows seemed to peel away, revealing a woman in a red coat, just like the one I had seen in my dreams.
I warned you. You've been walking this path your entire life. It's too late to turn back.
I stumbled back, my mind racing. What do you want from me? What is this? Her voice softened.
I can give you a way out, but you have to choose.
A way out? I echoed. How? What's the catch? She tilted her head slightly.
The catch is that you have to choose. You can live in the world you've made, the one where you never know when he'll take your soul. You can keep pretending everything's fine, or
what?
Or you can let go. Let me free you from this bargain, but you'll have to give me something in return.
I couldn't speak. The offer was too much, too heavy. I couldn't process it. What do you want? I finally managed to say. The woman smiled, but it wasn't comforting. It was knowing, as though she saw everything I had ever done.
I don't want much, just your memories. All of them, the ones you cherish, the ones that bind you to this world.
I felt my heart sink. My memories, everything that had defined me, everything that made me me. You want to take everything from me? I whispered, my voice breaking.
Not everything,
she said softly.
Just what's holding you back. The pain, the guilt, the fear.
I wanted to scream, to refuse, but deep down, I knew I was already broken. Oh, I turned to face the man in black, who had been silent until now. He had always been there, lurking in the background, controlling everything.
This is it, Logan,
he said. His voice was calm, almost compassionate.
You've had a lifetime of second chances, a lifetime of choices, but now it's time to decide.
I felt a rush of anger. You've been playing with my life this whole time. You lied to me. He stepped forward, his eyes gleaming in the dim light.
Lied? No. I gave you what you wanted. You asked for power, for influence, for more time. You got it.
I never asked for this, I shouted.
You asked for everything,
he replied softly.
And now you must pay.
I looked between the two of them, one offering freedom, the other a final price. For a long moment, I stood there, torn. Could I give up everything? Would it be worth it? But then, a sudden clarity washed over me. This wasn't about what I would lose. It was about what I would gain. I looked at the woman in red. I'll do it. Her smile was knowing, not happy. She stepped closer, lifting her hand.
Then say goodbye to who you were.
As she reached out, the world seemed to twist. Time stretched and everything blurred. I felt the memories slipping away. The laughter, the heartbreak, the moments I had clung to for so long. They faded like sand slipping through my fingers. But as they disappeared, something else emerged. A sense of freedom, a weight lifting from my chest. A feeling that I could finally breathe without the chains of my past holding me down. When the world came back into focus, I stood alone. The man in black was gone. The woman in red had vanished. But I was different, stronger, lighter, and the fear was gone. I stood on the edge of the world, looking out over the city. The sun was rising, painting the sky in shades of orange and gold. For the first time in my life, I felt free. No more bargains, no more fear. The world was mine now, and I was no longer a pawn in anyone's game. I had made the choice. I had taken my soul back, and for the first time in years, I smiled. But as I turned to leave, I heard something. A voice, low and deep, whispering in the back of my mind. You think it's over, Logan? It's never over. I smiled to myself, my hands clenched into fists. Maybe it wasn't over. Maybe it never would be. But I had won, and that was enough.